as women cannot emancipate yourself and graduate from those tendencies, how will you ever free your own daughters from the discrimination of the world dominated by men? For generations, for thousands of years, you get married, you give up your own name, and you take a man's name. You lie on the back of at the back of the bed. Even when it comes to jobs, you are discriminated upon. So please empower each other. Stand by each other. Just because you don't know the activities of a particular person going out there to fight for Ambazonia doesn't mean that they are doing something wrong. There are things that the president knows that I don't know. And there are things that I know that none of you here know. In every civilized society, there is classification of information. So if you see your sister going out there to do something, don't jump to conclusion and start bashing her on social media that she's going to sell Ambazonia. No one can ever sell Ambazonia. Not the president, not the vice president, not any of us here. Because this struggle is not only God ordained, but this struggle is self-sustaining. The emotion we have put into this is something that no one individual can ever destroy. If you go back and see what has happened within the past few months, you will realize that there is something very, very special about this struggle. People left us as one group, and God divided them. Why are we still together? Why did our detractors, why did those who thought they could destroy us, why couldn't they stay strong and together to fight us? Why are they divided today? It's because they were doing something wrong. This revolution will never fail. So I really, really want to thank all the women who serve in this revolution. And I want to really implore you to be the first defenders of women. Men are not doing you a favor. You deserve who you are. You deserve what you are. You deserve what you are given. You deserve your appointment because of your competence. So I would like to see some unity amongst women in this revolution. Because a house without a strong woman is a broken house. Those of us who are really abreast with the American story is that when the white man decided that he would take upon himself to break the black man, the black woman in America held the family together. Black men were not given jobs because they were head of the family and they wanted to destroy them. It was a way of destroying the fabric of that family. But black women went out, they were maids, they were nurses, because those are the only kind of jobs they could have. So the black women of America are the ones who have sustained, who have managed to keep the family together. If it wasn't for the black women in America, we will have no black society in this country. Let's emulate that. Let's come together and show some solidarity amongst each other. Because I'm really, really sick and tired of trying to solve problems between a sister and another sister. I'm really tired of it. I'm really, really sick and tired of it, because I believe that the energy that is put to destroy each other would do us some good if it was put to fight in this revolution and bring people together. So please, be our mothers, be our sisters, be our daughters, be the standard bearers for women who have been oppressed for thousands of years. Elevate each other. Celebrate a woman who is elevated. Don't fight her. Okay, I will leave it at that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, VP. Thank you so much. I think we've had those words of wisdom from one of our own very finest. And for us as Ambazonian women, we have been called upon today to support one another, to help build one another and not to bring down one another. I hope that means something to us and that it will help us move forward. It's time for us to get our first guest speaker for tonight or today. And while Paddy is projecting the guest speaker on the screen, I will be calling on Miley to introduce her to us. Miley.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, good. Thank you so much. Thank you very much, SOS, for giving me this privilege to introduce a very, very famous journalist. We know her. Dr. Rebecca Tinsley, is that uh, I noticed her dedication and total commitment to our cause. The first question she asked me when we met was, tell me, is this your only way? That is the way of independence, or do you want something else? Or is there an alternative? And I said, that's the only way. And she said, thank you. I like to know that so that, you know, she didn't mention that, but I could guess that she wanted to be on the right track working for us. Thank you so much. So, Dr. Rebecca Tinsley is a former BBC reporter who is the founder of the human rights group called uh, Waging Peace and a humanitarian charity called Network for Africa. She has worked in 12 African countries, not yet in Amazonia, but she will be there. And she is co-chair, of the Global Campaign for Peace and Justice in Cameroon. So she's already there. She works very hard to make sure that our prisoners have justice. Uh, Her novel, When the Stars Fall to Earth, is about the Darfur genocide. She gave it to us. We had a link and we forwarded it to everybody. So I want to introduce Dr. Rebecca Tinsley to you. Dr. Rebecca, over to you, please. Thank you and welcome.
Thank you very much, and congratulations for organizing this important event. I am honored to participate. I am especially honored to follow your vice president. I am here because of my involvement in fighting for human rights in Africa. I started in 1977 campaigning against the hideous apartheid regime in South Africa. And this evening, I think my contribution is to talk about your struggle. I think my best role, because I am not an African, my best role is to talk about how I think the international community is perceiving the Amazonian struggle. I know that this will not be perhaps the message you want to hear, but for the past 5 years, I have been writing articles about the Anglophone conflict, and I've been trying to influence international diplomats to take an interest in the horrors that are happening in Northwest and Southwest. And it is an immense disappointment to me that still, after all the suffering, after all the people who've had to flee their homes, and either go to Nigeria or to try to survive in IDP camps or in the bush, after all the death, after all the suffering, still very, very few people outside Northwest and Southwest are even aware of what is happening. And it has been a great disappointment to me that for all the articles that people like me write, we still come up against a brick wall. And I have to conclude that the current strategy of the Anglophones is not working. And so something has to change. You cannot continue in this way because there is just too much suffering and not enough progress. I submit to you that at the heart of the Anglophone issue is a political issue, and it will not be solved in a military way. It can only be solved through politics, because like you, I want the self-determination of the Anglophone people. And at the moment, that is not going to happen using the current military means, because what you have is a stalemate. And as you know, Paul Biya is not listening to anybody, so something has to change. I would urge you, please, to reconsider the school boycotts, because I think they are counterproductive. They are received very badly by people in the international community I talk to, who think that it is just a very unwise strategy, and that for people who are looking forward to having an independent country, it will be a country populated by people who cannot read and write and are unable to get a job because they haven't been able to go to school. And I know that is the last thing you want. The other issue that is constantly raised with me by diplomats, politicians internationally, is the lack of unity among Anglophones. And again, I know you probably don't want to hear this, but it is incredibly important to stop the disunity. That there are several competing interim governments, and governments in exile does not help the cause of the Anglophones. And so this evening I have a proposal, especially for the Anglophone women who are on this call. But first of all, I'm going to ask you a favor, and that is, I think it's important that you please remember that the international community is not going to relitigate 1961 and the plebiscite. They don't care. They're not interested in your history, and they never will be. I know very, very smart Anglophones who produce long articles and intellectual papers on all the injustices of 1961. But here's the problem. The international community is never going to read those, and they don't care. I urge you to use the language of the 21st century, which is about human rights. It is about talking about the prejudice that Anglophones have suffered for decades because of La République. It is about talking about the atrocities that are being endured, the women who are being raped, the children who are being denied a future, the fact that the schools and hospitals have always been of an inferior quality in Northwest and Southwest because all the power and resources are focused in Yaoundé and the Francophones. Those are the 21st century issues that will illuminate your cause best, I believe, with the international community. The other thing I would urge you, please, is to stop getting obsessed with terminology. And by that, I mean criticizing people for not using the right word. Restoration, independence, separatism, Ambazonian, Anglophone. If you get focused on the language you use, again, the international community will turn off. They're not going to want to hear this. So I beg you, please, be patient with people like me who may use the wrong word, because really we want to help, we want to be useful, and criticizing us for not using exactly the right words or saying comrade or just, these are not helpful things. And you basically, you have no international friends, and there is a reason for that. And that means you have to change your strategy. You don't have, the point about the African National Congress was that they had international supporters because they focused on the sheer injustice that the Black majority endured in South Africa. And so I believe your language has to be about the 21st century. So here is my proposal to you, and especially to women who are listening, Anglophone women. I see your role as diplomats, and that is why it's incredibly important that I feel that you have a role to reach out across all the Anglophones in the diaspora and in Northwest and Southwest, in civil society, in militia groups, people with weapons and people without weapons. I urge you, just find one or two issues that you can all agree with. And if you can be united on just one or two issues, then the international community will suddenly view your struggle in a different way. And they'll say, these people are serious. They're prepared to work together. Now, I would humbly suggest to you that the two issues that you can possibly find agreement right across the Anglophone world of the Amazonians is the freeing of prisoners, the freeing of political prisoners who it is an outrage that hundreds of peaceful political prisoners are in jail, and demanding unfettered and free access for international humanitarian aid groups to get to Northwest and Southwest. These are two issues on which I hope that you would be able to find cross-the-board agreement. And as I say, if you could do that, if you could get groups from civil society right across the Anglophone world in Cameroon and in the diaspora, and if you could campaign on just those two issues and say to the international community, here, we are united on this, then I promise you, you would have more success in undermining the power that BIA has at the moment. Because let's be honest, the international community is not paying attention and is not interested. So I'm going to finish by actually talking a little bit about Africa, the history of African women leaders. But first of all, I should mention the problem of the egos of the people running the different governments in exile. Please look at the example of South Sudan, where there are, that should be one of the wealthiest countries in Africa. They have all these wonderful resources. They could grow so much food in South Sudan that they could feed all of Africa. But there are two leaders who hate each other, and they have destroyed that country, and 10 million people's lives are being ruined because of the vast, bloated egos of the two people who stopped that country progressing, and that's the president and the vice president. And this should be an example to every African liberation struggle. Do not go down that road. I also draw your attention to the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, where again, hundreds of warlords who consider themselves kings with huge egos, they put their egos and interest ahead of the interests of the people that they claim to represent. And therefore there will never be progress, there will never be peace, and there will never be prosperity. Please look at those examples and learn from them and realize that even if you can only agree on one or two issues with all the people who in theory share your fervor, your passion for independence, please find a way of working with them. And that is the role, I think, of women. Your vice president said it so well. that historically women are the people, who hold the family together. They are the diplomats. In so many refugee camps and IDP camps in Africa that I have worked in, it is, the men who get depressed and angry and furious. But it is the women who have to get up every morning, get those kids up, feed them, hold the family together, and make life possible. It is the women who are the bedrock. They are the foundation. And so I appeal to you to take the lead in reaching across the Anglophone world in the diaspora and Northwest and Southwest, civil society and people holding guns. And please get them to coalesce around just one or two issues that you can work for together. And I then ask you to think about the wonderful example of three African queens that I came across when Dr. Patience asked me to talk to you this evening, for which thank you very much. I thought I would do a little bit of research, and I came across three remarkable African women war leaders. One of them was Queen Nzinga Mbanda, who lived in the 1600s in what is now Angola. Another was Queen Nanny from what is now Ghana, who was taken as a slave and sent to Jamaica. And she started a slave revolt. This was in the 1800s. And finally, the Amazons of Dahomey in what is now Benin. And for 3 centuries, women there led the battle. The reason I mention those 3 examples from history of women military leaders is that they all knew the right moment to start looking for a deal and to compromise and to become the peacemakers and the talkers and the unifiers. They had proved themselves in battle, as you have. You are all passionate, you are all full of the fight. But there is a moment when you have to try to find common ground. And I urge you, the people this evening, listening to this important event, to be part of that, be like those women who knew when there was a right moment to start looking for common ground and to work together and to be unified. I thank you very much for listening to me. May God bless you and your struggle, and mostly may God bless the people of Northwest and Southwest who face such danger and such inhumanity and such indifference at the moment from the international community. May God protect them. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Rebecca Tinsley. We've heard you, and we will definitely consider the advice that you have given us today. Thank you so much.
Madam Moderator, before you move on, I wanted to appeal to Dr. Rebecca that our ABC director would love an interview with her. I just wanted to make sure that she knows about it, so we can arrange that later on, please, because she's talked on so many important things that we need to continue the conversation. So thank you so much, Doctor.
Mate, before you go, if I may,
can we unmute everyone so that we clap for this, please?
Please.
The host, please unmute everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Rebecca.
Thank you, Dr. Rebecca.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. And is it possible for somebody to ask one tiny question?
To you mean to the speaker?
Yes.
Okay. Dr. Rebecca, are you there?
Yes.
Take one question.
Unmute chairman.
Okay, thank you.
Hello.
She was really under the weather, so I don't know if she wants to do so.
I'm here.
She's
yes.
there. She's here.
Okay.
She's there. My Buddha, you can ask your question in one minute, please. Why is she? I think we need to ask her to unmute.
I don't think I'm muted.
No, Mike would have asked you to unmute. You can unmute and ask your question.
Yes, thank you very much, Dr. Rebecca, for the very good advice you've given us. In the course of which I got this point that the international community is not interested in our cause because they see us as ununited, acting from different faces. For instance, you cited the case of warlords like in Congo. My question is this: in our own case, there are some people who have decided to work for La République against us. I don't know what magic wand we could have to get such people united with our functioning interim government.
I'm not actually suggesting you work with people that you know are traitors. However, take an example of civil society groups that may not overtly say that they support the armed struggle, or church leaders who do not say, we support the armed struggle. I am really asking you to respect the fact that they may not go with you 100% of the way along the same road, but to find common ground with them. But I'm certainly not asking you to work with people who you feel are traitors. Because, you know, as somebody in the chat said, there are some very corrupt people out there. And no, they've got to have integrity. But I would submit to you that there are civil society groups who do not want to take the violent road to achieving liberation. And they may take a more moderate line. They may be federalists, for instance. But I would urge you, please, to find the common ground on those one or two issues, because you could be so much more powerful if you're representing a broad swathe of opinion.
Dr. Rebecca, thank God. For some reason, I think right now, our IG is being inspired to look for that common ground with all Amazonians. And that is what we have in making up a team Amazonia going forward with all civil society groups, as you are suggesting. And I hope we'll be able, success will be on our way as we continue to move forward.
Well, then God bless their efforts and all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rebecca. I'm sure there are many others who would have loved to ask questions, but we won't want to bother you a lot with questions now. We are aware that you are not feeling so well. But the VP wants to make a comment. So, Mr. VP, can you come in?
Yes, I first of all want to apologize to the two comrades whose hands are up. Thank you so much, Ms. Rebecca Tisley. I think I've watched your interview before, and I'm very well versed with your endeavors, and I really want to appreciate you for that. After what I say here today, I hope you will still continue to build, to mend bridges, and to make sure that you never relent to see my people free. The one thing I'm going to say is South Sudan and these other countries that you mentioned belong the way they had their independence as one country. There were never two states. I know that it is very easy to just brush things aside because it's hard. I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about mankind in general, in the sense that the British Southern Cameroons did not belong to the British. It was a United Nations Trust territory that they inherited from the defunct League of Nations. It was the same like Gambia, the same like the Republic of Cameroon, and many other trust territories that were given to the Allied powers who won the Second World War to prepare for independence. So our case is quite different. There is an inherent injustice in what was done. And I can assure you that if oil was not found on our territory, we would have been in peace. If France knew that the Gambia, when they were still Senegambia, had oil, they would be in the same situation we are today. Those are the injustices of the world. And that is what really, really makes us want to throw up. One cannot annihilate a whole people simply because they want to take what is within their soul. There's always this saying that we don't come in and snatch it. Your own people give it to us. That is not the point. The point is, I distinctly remember that when the British were about to leave the Southern Cameroons, they wanted us to join Nigeria. That was a breach of trust. They messed up big time. How did they mess up? The Southern Cameroons never belonged to the British, but they took upon themselves to administer us under a governor in Nigeria, the British colonial governor of Nigeria. Nigeria was a colony of the British. The Southern Cameroons was not. The Germans were defeated and they took this huge territory and they split it up. They gave some to France to administer and prepare the people for independence. That was the language. And then they gave our territory to Britain. Not for them to own it, but as a trusteeship territory. Prepare these people for independence. And if you look at the language, it clearly states that it doesn't matter if they are ready or not, you have to prepare them for their independence. La République du Cameroon became independent 1 year before us, and they voted against our independence. The only country in Africa that voted for was Mali. However, it was a breach of trust because the British administered our territory as though it belonged to them. It was a United Nations trust territory. Come back to today. It will be very, very difficult for anyone to tell our people to abandon what they are doing right now. So that's why I plead with you to keep fighting for us. Because even we in the diaspora, if we were to go down there and tell our people to abandon the arms resistance, they will shoot us. They have lost 45,000 people, and they are still seeing the injustice. In the United Nations rating, when you have 3,000 dead, it is considered a crisis and is left with La République du Cameroun, the Republic of Cameroon, to manage, because they will say it's an internal conflict. That is why the international community has deliberately maintained the number of deaths in our conflict at 3,000. Because if it is elevated, we've lost over 45,000 people, but it doesn't reflect it in their statements. Because they know if they elevate it, the international community will have to come in and create a buffer zone and force both parties to go on the table. They have deliberately deceived us and manipulated the books and maintained the people we have lost at 3,000. since 2018. How can we lose 3,000 people in 2018 when there was not much fighting? And then in 2022, we are still at 3,000. That's why during my statement, I made allusion to I made mention of the fact that the default position of the international community is to see us stay with the Republic of Cameroon. But I can also say that it was the default position of the international community to see Black South Africans oppressed. What if Nelson Mandela, Thabo Mbeki, and all these other people had said, you know what, I don't think Britain will ever support our freedom. Let's just give up. No, it wouldn't have worked. You see, when it comes to schools, we have never told our people, as a matter of policy, not to go to school. We cherish the education of our children. However, school stopped because of the carnage that was brought into our territory. We have never crossed the border to attack them. They have come into our country, stolen our resources, marginalized us, raped our children and women, and we are just barely defending ourselves. Nothing has made it more clear that the lives of Black people don't matter. I'm going to just say it. Because when Ukraine was attacked by Russia, the whole world stood up. So you as a mother, I don't know if you have children or not, but to me, every woman is a mother. I lost my mom in 2017. That is why I have so much respect for women, because I know how influential she was in my life. I know that she brought up my family. I know that she persuaded my dad that the little money that you have, make sure all your daughters get an education. Don't worry about the men, because you know what? They can grow up and fend for themselves. And we all did. All my sisters went to the highest level of education. I didn't care much for that, because you know what? I had other strengths. However, I'm still encouraging you to keep fighting. You know why? Because Harriet Tubman didn't say, you know what? When I go and get slaves from the South and take them through the Underground Railroad, some other slaves betray them to be killed. Or some other white people betrayed them to be killed. She stuck with what was right. She stuck with it. And today, slavery is over. So I want you to be the Harriet Tubman of Amazonia. Don't ever give up. Keep fighting for our freedom, because we are not ready to give up. We are not. We are really not. I'm just going to say this. We are not. The reason why the Republic of Cameroon has found solace in their barbarism towards our people is because the international community speaks the way you just spoke. They are giving us the feeling that we don't care. But you know what? Yes, we've lost so many people, but we're going to keep fighting. The division that you see amongst our people is because of the 60 years of association with the Republic of Cameroon. There are people whose family are married to the other side. They call themselves Anglophones. We don't have any problem with them. To us, they are Cameroonians. We call ourselves Amazonians because we are the independentists. If you were born in the southern Cameroon, or your grandfather, grandmother, or whoever was born in the southern Cameroon, and you identify yourself as a southern Cameroonian, you have every right to become a citizen of Cameroon. Our argument is that stay out of our way. If you want to remain a Cameroonian, when we get our independence, go and live in Cameroon, or you can even get a green card to live in our country. We will not let them, the federalists, impose the ideology on us. Because we know that we command the majority of our people when it comes to the independence of our people and the freedom of our people. You know how it is. You see it every day here in America. You see the institutionalized discrimination. But even President Biden will never give up. He's a good president. Why? Because he's fighting against those who are trying to subjugate other Americans to cruelty with policies that are not in line with humanity. You can see that. So that's why I say, no, don't give up. Don't buy that narrative that we will never make it, so you give up. No, don't ever give up, because you know what? We are not going to give up. We are going to keep fighting. Why are we fighting? We are not attacking them. We are defending ourselves. It is incumbent on the international community to prevail on La République du Cameroon to abandon its military tactics in our country. That is the message we are sending to them. We do have the capability to go into their villages and burn them too. We have that capability. It won't take us 200 boys armed to the teeth to go there and burn their villages and kill their civilians. But we are not a barbaric people. We are not. Those are the kind of messages. One of your interviews that I heard before, you had made mention of a situation, I think it was you, of a situation in Boya, a torture camp in Boya by Toleti, right? Was that you? Was that you, ma'am?
I'm sorry, I can't. What did you say about Boya?
I think I've heard one of your interviews before where you mentioned something about a torture chamber in around Tole in Boya. Was that you?
No.
It wasn't you. Somebody like you, a goodwill ambassador in our territory, discovered these torture chambers all over the place. And at the end, what did they say to us? Same thing you're telling us, just give up. No, we can't.
I'm sorry. I've now listened to you politely for however many minutes it is, and you've given me a lecture on your history, which I already knew, and you made exactly the mistake that you always make with anyone from the international community. They don't want to hear about the history. Please, I am not asking you to give up. I'm not suggesting that at all.
We agree on that. Thank you.
Suggesting, I will tell you, you seem to think that the international community will intervene if you release the fact that 45,000 people have died. You are wrong, sir. If 100,000 people die, the international community still will not come to your help. They are never going to come to your help if you use the current tactics. I agree that it is appalling and it's outrageous, but what I think doesn't matter. What matters is trying to reach the international community. And I'm not asking you to give up, but I am asking you to compromise enough to find common ground with other people and to campaign on two things: freeing your prisoners. Surely most of you can agree on that, and getting unfettered and free humanitarian access to Northwest and Southwest. Can you not find it in your heart to?
Oh, yeah, we do. You're right. You're right. You're 100% right.
This is the way forward. Your current strategy is not working. You make very brave speeches sitting in exile, but it's not helping. And I urge you from the bottom of my heart, I am on your side, but please find another route.
Well, I really appreciate your advice, and I wasn't disagreeing with you. What I was saying is that there has always been this notion that we make these fancy speeches here. What I just started my statement to you, that if we in the diaspora who are supporting our people to defend themselves, even if we told them today to drop their weapons and to find another way, they will not do it. That's the message I'm trying to convey to you. That's why I said never give up. Because if we walk down there and we tell somebody whose mother has been raped and killed, whose daughter has been killed, that, hey, let's forget about it. They're going to turn their guns against us because of the enormous pain that they have endured. So please don't take offense to what I said. I'm actually listening to you. I know that it's based on your own analysis that you are giving us this advice, and I appreciate it. But I just want you to understand that We are not the ones who asked our people down there to pick up arms. We are not the ones who asked them to start defending themselves. It was a horrific nature in which the Republic treated them that they started fighting. We just came in to just give them a push, like, hey, we stand with you, we sympathize with you. And even if we were to pull our support, they will never give up. That's all I'm saying. So we should not give up. The reason why when I'm addressing you, I look at you like one of us. That's why I say we should never give up. Whatever you are doing to help remedy the situation, don't give up. Don't get disillusioned. We understand everything you're saying. And there is no wrong or right in this. We cherish any idea or any contribution from anyone. But at the same time, my only statement is never give up fighting for Amazonia. Never give up fighting for freedom. That's what I'm saying. That's what I had to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. VP.
Thank you.
May I just make a comment and then we can proceed? I just want to thank Ms. Tinsley for taking the time to share with us. We will really take your advice, we'll take your suggestion under advisement. We're not discrediting or discarding anything you've said. We appreciate you wholeheartedly. And again, we'll have this conversation some more so that we can have some more questions answered and forge a way forward. Please, as the Vice President said, keep fighting for us. And we believe that one day we'll have that land that we call Amazonia. And that's why what keeps on going. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Well said, Mape. Thank you so much once more, Dr. Tinsley. I think after such a thought-provoking presentation and interaction, we will listen to some revolutionary music before we get to our next item. Paddy, can you give us some music, please?
Na 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 na, eh. Oh na 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 na, oh na na na, oh na 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 na. Police they shoot our people down, shoot our people down. Politicians say make them shoot them down, say make them shoot them down. But one day fire go burn them down. One day table go turn around. One day powers go knock them down. Now which kind of government be this? One day fire go burn them down. One day the tables go turn around. One day the powers go knock them down. Now which kind of government be this? Take me down to Rome, I want to see them pour. Let me show him the bullets them used on my brothers. I know he's a father to every child, says my mama. I know that father won't let me down. We want to be free. We want to be free like Ghanaians, to be free like Kenyans, to be free like South Africans, to be free, but police they shoot our people them down, shoot our people down. Politicians say make them shoot them down, say make them shoot them down. But one day fire go burn them down. One day the table go turn around. One day the powers go knock them down. And which kind of government be this? I know she's a mother to every child, that's my mama. I know that mother won't let me down. We want to be free. We want to be free like Ghanaians, to be free like Kenyans, to be free like South Africans, to be free, but
Listen, they compel us to stay back from the way to freedom. Every ruler been a king, but we don't see the kingdom. The desire to rule is such a deadly sin from. If you open up for talk, they say that one go bygone. So they treat you like a lesser person, lesser human. Cause you stand to say the truth, you be a Boko Haram. We ain't got no freedom of speech, freedom to teach. Every day we be a living threat, not the thing they preach. When you speak against the nation, you a terrorist. When the nation goes against the people, it is politics. We see some brutal killings all over the world, so people not get human rights again all over the world. We pray to all these people that is suffering and say we stand with people.
shout, you will shout. When you heard that the saints have gone, shout it now. When the saints are still around. After rapture, there will be no more mercy. This is the time to ask for God's mercy. When the saints are still around. Mercy will not be available when the saints are gone. Grace will not be available when the saints are gone. Mercy and grace will not be available when the saints are gone. Repentance is now while the saints are still around. Repentance is now while the saints are still in the world. This is the time to serve Him in truth and in spirit. Be conscious of eternity. Don't live your life anyhow.
SKALLE.
Come to Jesus today.
Wabi rapper. This is the truth. You like to hear. This is the truth. We're gonna make you lock your ear. This is the truth, bro. You like to hear. Wada. We don't cry, the government know the year we cry. Southern Cameroon and look at our faces, there's no smile. Peace not there for pay, that's why you see tears for our eye. Make they stop the war because in our border them they die. We never ever be together, stop the lie. You take my team with power, then you still be high. You get hard for stand for front seat, you continue the lie. Now for you, for give me back my team back, I get for cry. No be the motto, be a peace walk, fatherland. But now for the peace of work, we get for mother man. As you the court, no forget my way, he plant a man. You want for chopper, us in a ya papa get the farm. I know say very soon, I go be a ghost. I know forget blanket level, my man the froze. Even a one cup tea, we get for toast. So more time, then go candy tell we take a shows. I know be able to for guarantee good future for my kid. Picking the nose for all kind of gun before them big. Make una self check, I'm escaping a good way for live. So it's time to table the matter, cause people still believe. Though, now we get the food, you get the market. They would say, come back with the empty pocket. One neighbor Nigeria, then the media rocket. But I'm not sure what that Cameroon, they make even bucket. Cameroon rich for all things, I just want government poor. Only tax they make waka people for setting them for poor. Even now you go invest for years, say you do. Can't you win money, people they decide the law. Wow, man nothing again for not freely at all. Nearly every day, man, they now with the left for flaw. See, can't you win two different parties, they make the law. I they pray for God, me man Jack, I no witness the war. This is the truth, you like to hear. This is the truth, we're gonna make you lock your ear. This is the truth, bro, you like to hear. Whoa, yo. I know some people then go test me at all. But it's time to stand together, make they change the law. Because no man know the way they enjoy the war. So I wish they make this song rich for my way they make the law. My way they chop you and drop you person for choke. We don't overtake and now we know fi cope. Leaders of tomorrow, now so we no get hope. Money they been get me home for no line I hope. So make you tell me waiting, I go tell Manjaka. If tomorrow he ask and papa wait to start the matter. No be all we know say all we will be being our brothers. So make you tell about the matter, make for me be in order. But it dey like say some man go die before they agree. But now how many people they get for die before we free? How I wish give me for mama belly so I know for see. All the gunshot and killings where they happen around me. When man overstay in tears, him get uche face. The thing that's me personal, that's why I didn't show my face. I dey ready for gongata if not that one be the case. But before you judge my action, make you don't resolve the case. Because you always depend for a better nation. Please work fatherland, who said they keep the vision. Pay you go be fine, but now when that is the question, they must solve the matter, we are the choosing generation. This is the truth, you like to hear. This is the truth, we're gonna make you lock your ear. This is the truth, bro, you like to hear. Oh, yo.
On the oppression and the ill treatment that our people have been going through and are still going through. So it is all about the embattled people of Amazonia. And here we are going to begin by having a presentation from Mark Caroline of COS HSS, who will talk to us about the plight of women, female IDPs, and female prisoners of war. Ma Caroline, the floor is yours. Is she here?
Is it Ma Caroline from Goketuja?
I think so.
Mom, you've been asked to unmute, please.
Good afternoon, my Amazonian sisters. Good afternoon, fellow Amazonians. Good afternoon to all the guests on this program today. Today, I come and I stand on the shoulders of our foreparents who gave us a history and a dream, a land called Amazonia. And I stand in light of the wisdom of all the women in this revolution who have come to enlighten us to know exactly what Amazonia is and what we're fighting for. I'll be talking today about the Amazonian woman, the plight of the Amazonian woman, especially the Amazonian woman, those who are still on the home front on their various villages and LGAs. And then I'll also talk about those who are displaced internally in the neighboring La République du Cameroon. The Amazonian woman traditionally is a very hard-working mother. She toils in the day, she works, she does subsistence farming in the day, and she comes back in the evening to cook for the family, cook for the husband, maintain her household, and keep her family warm. The Amazonian woman traditionally is a beacon of the family. She sells her crops and she educates the children alongside the husband. Today we are celebrating the anniversary, the fifth anniversary of the 22nd of September and the 1st of October. And we all know what happened on the 22nd of September and on the 1st of October. Amazonian children, Amazonian brothers, Amazonian parents, Amazonian mothers who were frustrated with the way they were being treated by La République du Cameroon. They took to the streets. They were asking for nothing but a fair share. They were asking for nothing but for a sense of belonging. And we are here today because we know how they were treated and how they have been treated. The plight of the Amazonian woman is bleak. The Amazonian woman in the villages, we have to understand that they are in the villages because they don't have any other place to go. They don't have any other way to sustain themselves. And so they kind of resolve to stay where they feel comfortable or they thought they would feel comfortable. Unfortunately, life for the Amazonian woman, especially in the villages, at the home front, in the LGAs, is very big. They live from minute to minute. They're not sure for the next hour. They live under a system of suppression, a system of arrest, a system where today or this minute they can smile and the next minute they cry. Crying has become part of their lives. They have learned to bury when they had never hoped of burying even their own children. The Amazonian woman has taken the place of the man in the society, the woman in the society, the forebearer of everything, and the hope is not even there. In the villages at this moment, the Amazonian woman, I understand right now, she cannot even move along freely. The farm she toils on, there are days she goes to the farm, there are days while on the way going to the farm, she stopped. Where are you going to? Show your identity. Show proof that you belong here. When she's coming back from the farm, she stopped on the way. Where are you going to? Show the identity. Show proof that you belong here. She brings whatever she struggled, she toiled to produce on the farm. She's bringing this to feed her home and feed her children. The La Republic military, they choose what is most enticing and they leave her with whatever they can if they have to. The Amazonian woman has become, most of them have become widows. They toil from day to night. They have no hope. You see them pregnant with no hope of how the baby is going to survive. We see them in the bushes and children being delivered in the bushes. The Amazonian woman, she is the silent result of this war. Nobody speaks for her. And she cries in the light. She cries in the bedroom. She cries alone. She suffers. The children suffer. The Amazonian woman. The Amazonian woman has become the darkest part of this revolution. In the villages, the women's department has taken a lot and have tried to do a lot to kind of alleviate the suffering of the Amazonian woman. The women's department have organized programs to try to see if the Amazonian woman, especially those the widows, can have a little bit of business, small businesses, petty businesses that they can do to sustain themselves and the children, the families that they have. But with the days and with the number of killings that our people go through, the number of orphans and the number of widows increase every moment. We try as much as possible to meet up to see how many we can help. But it looks like the pace is outrunning us. But the need is always there. They look up to us. They look up, they dream of the day when they will be free, to go back to their farmlands, to go back to a free home, to go back to a place where they can call a home, where they can live with nobody coming around to harass them. The Amazonian woman, she cries in silence. The Amazonian woman, especially those who have moved out, they've been displaced to neighboring La Republique towns and cities. Their plight is also horrible. Most of them, they left from villages where their language, their original communication language was speaking, or at most English. Most of them, just few of them could even say a word of good morning in French. But when they find themselves in neighboring La Republique cities and towns, the struggle for survival is not just that of how to feed themselves, it's that of how to get absorbed in the community, how to communicate with the community, how to live in the community, how to get a place in the community. And so the Amazonian woman, she has to undergo a lot. Prostitution is part of it, just so they can put food on the table. They're killed. They're sidelined. They pointed out if they speak English. They are mistreated. They're discriminated against as if what they had right in their own home is not enough. The Amazonian woman, she continues to cry. She continues to suffer. She continues to endure, and she continues to hope. The cases of the IDPs, excuse me, the woman, the Amazonian woman who has been displaced from her own home to a place where she can find refuge, they are just enormous. We have a lot of them. We can't even reach them. And most of them, they cry in pain, they cry in the day, they cry in the night. And they try to cry in silence and they cry in the hidings. Because their case, especially the case in La République, is even very powerful. If they cry in the light, they will be identified and they will be subject for elimination or maltreatment. The Amazonian woman. The Amazonian woman, she's at the forefront of this fight because she feeds even the fighters who are fighting this revolution. She feeds the husband. She's come to feed even the children of the neighbors because they become orphans. The Amazonian woman. The Amazonian woman, she carries the burden of our land. She carries the burden of our hope. And so she cries. And through us today, as we come to remember the Amazonian woman, the silent sufferer, the one who carries all these burdens, the one who cooks for our fighters, the one who even holds that land that we hope to be there tomorrow. Let us remember that this is a bleak moment for her, that she hopes more in us. And so let's try to see how much we can do for her. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Caroline. The psychological, emotional, and physical torture that the Amazonian women and girl children are going through is something that we cannot even begin to imagine. And that is why we will continue to fight. We will not give up until we get that which belongs to us. Now we are going to listen to the plight of the female refugee and the girl child. And this will be coming from a refugee on ground one, whose name we will not mention. If they are here, can they come on, please?
Ask her to unmute.
Okay. Did she get the request?
I am checking. Miss A, please unmute. Yes, she's unmuted.
Okay.
Maybe she doesn't know it's her cue to talk. Miss A, it's your turn to talk. You don't have to be on camera.
Miss A, can you come in? Maybe she's having challenges. Miss A, can you hear us?
Her mic is open.
Okay. Can you say something? All right. Maybe why we wait for her to come to us at a later stage, we will move on to save time.
Yes, yes, ma. I can hear you now.
Okay. All right.
Yes, ma. Ma, we're having some challenges here about our girls in terms of education, in terms of scholarship and empowerment. And we really need support. We're having some challenges here. Our girls are suffering. If you come, there is no food to eat, no good clothes to wear, no creams to rub, and shoes to wear. Some of us that we even have a privilege to go to school, we don't have equipment to use like Android phones to do research. We don't have anything just like that. We are just suffering. Some they don't even go to school. For them to inquire themselves in doing some trade or learning some skills, there is no way for them. There is no money. Yet, if you don't have any money, you cannot do anything. So we really need support like pads. That is why you see some of us, they enter prostitution. They enter, we see some of them, little one getting unwanted pregnancy because of all those things. So, ma, please, we need your support.
Okay.
Oh.
Thank you so much.
That is so touching. I think we have all heard. It's so touching that our young girls who are supposed to be the future of tomorrow are going through what they are going through. They can't go to school. They are getting unwanted pregnancies and what have you, just because of what La République is making us go through. It is, again, another reason why we can't give up. We have to fight till we get what is rightfully ours. So while we wait for our next guest speaker to be introduced, Paddy, can you show us a video of some of the atrocities that our women and children are facing or going through? And in the meantime, Emma, you prepare to...
No cry, oh, no cry. Go, 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 go. Oh, shut up, shut up. No, on vient de lancer par là. Fais vite. Un prince, c'est tu fais la vidéo là. Il faut tremper les seins, même les seins. Voilà. Moi, Bobby, for water. Allez. Bobby, ça water. Put la Bobby. Put les gants. Après, on ne sort pas. Tu ne vas pas mourir. Tu vois les filles. Put la Bobby, ça water. Les femmes, là, on fait ça. Assez,
Avance.
when a woman don't know. Comme ça, vous allez aller laver vos culs là correctement pour ne plus sortir. Avancez.
Après, demain, quand on va vous draguer, n'acceptez pas. Oh, ne venez même pas, on ne veut même pas. Oh. Hala. Tu vas pas mourir.
Allez, avance, tombe en
Tu vas
bas.
arriver chez ton gars comme ça. Pierre, tu seras Pierre.
Avancez. Allez.
Tu vas laisser ton
Avance.
corps. Tu vas arriver là-bas.
Avance. No cry, go. No cry.
Aganga babe marita chibat me amie tonte chom. It was feeling around 3-4 o'clock. You have a bereni a good gymning a ba a gym for bere. Hey, do for to Jerusalem. I'm here tonte chom. Eh.
You want cry, eh? Ambazonian, we went to that country.
Eh, I'm going to check about sharing.
Went to that country.
C'est le bébé de la femme là qui me faisait pitié. La femme qui est venue avec le magie chef là ici, non?
Ils sont entrés.
Le magie chef est entré avec lui là-bas dedans pour lui donner à manger.
Oh, hook up. C'est quoi, ils n'ont pas encore mangé?
Ils disent qu'ils n'ont pas mangé depuis hier.
Hook up.
Ils donnent même le sein à l'enfant refuse.
Allez, allons.
Passe.
Oh, arrête de pleurer.
Si les pleurs avaient de la valeur, on ne devait pas nous mater en formation. Avec toutes les larmes qu'on a coulées au TI, on nous matait même plus quand on constatait que tu étais en train de pleurer. Et si nos mamies étaient ici, on pouvait seulement lui donner 2 de nos mamies.
Qui me met Kiki, c'est là pour vous cadencer. Qui me met ma Kiki ici.
What they are going through in the hands of La Republic soldiers. Maema, are you there? Can you please introduce the next, our next guest speaker? Hello. All right, while Maema is coming on, if Margot the Eye is there, can you please come on, Margot the Eye, with the plight of the wounded and the widows of our fallen heroes?
Are we together, sisters?
Yes, we are together.
You hear me? Thank all of us. And for those who have spoken, I really appreciate what you have said, and especially the people, the organizers, and especially MAPE, the SOS for this. I thank you all. I'm going to talk about the wounded. And to do that, I will just define it in my own terms. When we talk about our wounded people on the ground, we are talking about those who are hurt physically. That is to feel pain on a particular spot on their body caused by someone or something. They didn't fall from a tree to have this hurt. They didn't get a car accident to have this hurt. They are being hurt directly by someone who knows that if what they are doing to them is done to them, it will hurt. Yet they do it. Why? Because they consider us animals. Are we on track?
Yes, yes.
Yes, we are with you.
So today we are talking about the wounded and how the Amazonian woman helps. The president has made this particular commission so that we will be healing the wounded on the ground, psychologically, otherwise to helping with the little we can. And that is why I come to you today to know that we have to pray for those wounded people to be even healed psychologically. We need to make calls to console them. They need to hear some comforting words from us, especially when they are shot directly and they are not killed. When you are not killed and you die afterwards because of the wounds of the shooting, it's more painful than when they shoot you and you die immediately. That particular period, as a period, the singer says, prepare the saints while they are still alive. So we have to help them, heal them, let them live. Don't let them die and we say, why didn't we do? It's our responsibility, all of us as women, to help get to those wounded. Dearest, if you see how women cut off the hem of their loins to tie bleeding wounds of their husbands and children, some of them finish in their hands. You understand what Mary went through under the cross of Jesus. You see these women struggling to make sure that they even feed them and console them. Only a woman's touch can heal a man's wound. I therefore beg you on this day, when we come to commemorate, to remember the day our pain started, to do something with the wounded on the ground. Even to keep a first aid box in each LGA so that when they are wounded, they can run there and do something. Since our hospitals are being occupied by our enemies, they know the pain of wounds. So they occupy our hospitals and throw us out. Even if we take our wounded there, they'll come kill them. But they and then occupy the hospitals themselves in our land. So it pains. Even the wounded, those who are wounded psychologically are wounded when they even call them North and Southwest. We are not North and Southwest because it only comes to remind us that someone is needing us, trying to knit us into a lion's den. So people know we are Amazonians, but they decide to call us North and Southwest. They decide to call us Anglophones. Those are some of the wounds that people feel, and we, the women, are there to still console them at this particular stage till we come out of it. We are also, our people are also being wounded by hunger. How would a woman cook stones? Put stones in a pot and put firewood under it to console our children. That food will soon get ready so that they will be somehow hopeful when there's nothing. Hunger is killing our people in the bush. Yet, people are lavishing with our blood money. Women are those who are standing there hungry with empty stomachs by telling the children, eat, eat, even if they have only a cup of rice for 10 children. They'll say, no, eat. I ate already. They hold their stomachs and feed the children and the husbands, if at all they live. So I come to you today, my dear sisters, to plead that the Department of Wounded, especially the soldiers, our children who have no parents, those who have no more wives who have been killed, I come to you that you aid this department so that we can be able to give them bandage. Some die with wounds because of bacteria. We can even buy antibiotics for them or do other things so that we don't see them die in our hands or in front of us, in our eyes, as if they have no other one. Their hope is on us, the women. And when they hear the voice, they need to put some credit in their phone so that when we call and they hear our voices, they can say, at least somebody is still thinking of me under that tree where they are and only watching the birds pass. They can have consolation, at least that somebody is thinking of me somewhere and they don't give up. Dearest, I will end by saying, if you cannot reach out to them the way others reach, pray for them and pray that this carnage, this wicked carnage on us will soon pass away, because man is man, but God is God. When God came to free the Israelites, he didn't ask the Egyptians when he will free them. When God came to free America, he didn't ask them if they were united. He freed them at the appointed time. When God came to free those he's freed many times in the Bible, as we read, when God raised David to bring down Goliath, he did not ask whoever was behind the carnage of the people of Israel. He didn't ask them, but he freed them. Above all, pray for our wounded people, those who are wounded psychologically and those who are physically wounded, that this carnage period will end sooner than later. As our prayers go forth, the heavens work on our behalf. Man will not free Amazonia. God will free Amazonia the way he freed America, the way he freed the Israelites, the way he freed other nations. He will free us. Hope for no man, for they will only come to wound our hearts. That is all I have to say, and I pray that you pray for our wounded soldiers, pray for our wounded people on the ground, pray for those who are wounded even out here, because those with high blood pressure are many. Thank you, sweet women of Amazonia. I know your commitment, and I know you will stop at nothing but your independence. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Margot the Eye. God is still on the throne, and he has done it for others. He will do it for us. If Ma Emma is ready, can she introduce our next guest speaker?
Yeah, there's a slight change. My Emma is having some technical issue. Paddy, please go ahead and project our next speaker on the screen, and then I'm going to read a little bio from her.
Okay.
All right. So, Ms. Asia Storm, before I read it, I just want to say that I made supposed to be the one to introduce her, but she's having some difficulties. So I've known Ms. Storm for since I think it was really Christmas of 2019, yeah, December 2019. And we formed a wonderful relationship since then. And you guys have seen her on ABC, Amber TV, and also on different, on her broadcast network. So let me read this quickly. Asia Gail Storm, CEO of Storm's House and Feed My Sheep Outreach, Inc., born in the deep south of the United States in a very small town called Brington, Alabama, mother of 3, grandmother of 7, and great-grandmother of 11. Her career spans from police officer to airport police to entrepreneur. Her passion is the psychology of mankind, and her bachelor's was in business marketing, and her master's is in psychology, and she's currently working on her doctorate in forensic psychology. Serving the poor and undeserved is the most important service I ever desire to give. This passion has led me to deep research as I seek to find the underlying modern-day causes and coverings of inequity and oppression. And my findings have led me to open a new company called Storms Broadcasting Networks, from which I am called The Movement, because I believe, based on my own findings, that regardless of hatred and bigotry, that God has opened up the portals of technology to allow the laymen inside to manipulate these systems. With this new opportunity, good people who earlier had little access can now use technology to change our world. Being a boomer places me a little behind the technical curve, so I am forever studying technology in relation to using it to save lives. This need to know makes technology my lifetime study plan. So without further ado, I introduce Ma Asia. We call her Ma Asia, as we call Ma in our Amazonia culture. Ma Asia, you're welcome. Thank you so much. Unmute.
Unmute, please.
There we go. Yes, my patients, thank you so much. I am so excited to be here with you guys. I had to get my composure because I'm sure my sister journalist had to go somewhere and really cry out a storm for what she had to say to you guys, because I mean, I was wrecked. But I am here and I'm ready to share with you. This is a day to encourage you because you are giants in my eyes, my heart, my soul. I'm so proud of you, every one of you, whether you're here or not, whether you're struggling or not. You are my sheroes. I'm so crazy about you. I love your strength. And those who are out in my patients, I hope this is not part of my talk, but I just want to say to those sisters that are out there, I love you, and you are being trained by God. I know it's hard. I know it's hard. I've been to hard. Ooh, have I been to hard? And I know that I'm thankful for it now, and you will be thankful for it one day. Just stay strong, my sisters. So I will get right down into why I'm here. I want to tell you biblically, kind of, who you are and who we are as women. And so I have to ask myself this because I'm always throwing myself in the line of fire because I insist on, correctness. And so I have to ask myself this question sometimes: woman, where art thou? Sometimes the simple things can be the most difficult to do, but at the same time, the most necessary when we want to affect change. I believe our God created the woman to lead. I believe this because the Bible tells me so. We've learned the art of flavor to dazzle the sense of taste, the art of fashion to dazzle the eyes, and the art of design to dazzle the sense of comfort. Some believe that there are few women in God's word, but I beg to differ. So as women, let's look at us through the eyes of the book of life. Since we were cast from the Garden of Eden, woman has been programmed to believe she is the weaker gender, the less capable human, and that we cannot effectively lead. I am madly in love with the Bible, so I adore how it gives me answers and guidance through the memoirs of others to chart my own course. So come with me for a few moments, if you will, to visit the lives of three women and to ponder the effects of two feminine wrongs that are in the Bible, to see the messages they send to us, to reveal the power and the vulnerabilities that we are eternally blessed with. Let's look first at the mother of creation, Eve. If you don't know the story of Eve, other than by hearsay, I invite you to grab your own book of the Bible to read your own story, because it's not her story, it's our story. But for now, let's peruse our very own Eve. We must look closely at Eve to see that she is the way God ushered in relationships, companionships, friendships, and marriage into this world. Without Eve, none of these treasures would exist. Eve was the leader in this relationship, based on Genesis 2:6. She was the first to be approached by the deceiver, first to act, and the first to lead. I believe that Eve's natural vulnerabilities were revealed to us as a gift from the Creator, so that today, thousands of years later, we can become aware of what's in our own innate natures. Things like seeing content in people or items that cannot be seen, but walking into these situations as if we can see. Genesis 2:5 shows that Eve saw the fruit that was good to eat. You can't see this feature in food or in most things, but she forged ahead, ill-informed, reckless, and deceived, destroying her life in the wake of it all. The mother of all creation was blamed, even though the Bible does not show that Adam was forced. But God asked Eve in response to Adam blaming her, "Woman, what have you done?" Our Eve is the mother of justification. Her response to God was, "The serpent deceived me, and I ate." Eve's need for her man became that which would rule over her. What this curse means to us today is still not as revealed to me as I would like it to be. But since it is a curse, I believe we should be very attentive to this innate trait in our characteristics. Let's visit our ancestral sister, Jael, my girl. Judges 5:24 through 27. Now Jael took a stake in her left hand and approached him, saying, "If God will work this sign with me, I know that Sisera will fall into my hands. Behold, I will throw him down on the ground from the bed which he sleeps, and if he does not feel it, I know that he has been handed over." And Jael took Sisera and pushed him onto the ground from the bed, but he did not feel it because he was very gruff. And Jael said, "Strengthen in me today, Lord, my arm, on account of you and your people and those who hope in you." And Jael took the stake and put it on his temple and struck it with a hammer And while he was dying, Sisera said to Jael, "Behold, pain has taken hold of me, Jael, and I died like a woman." And Jael said to him, "Go, boast before your father in hell, and tell him that you have fallen into the hands of a woman." As we read this woman, Jael, we find that no one ordered her to take this huge risk. Sisera was a ruthless, arrogant murderer and leader over the people who were oppressing her people, who would have sadistically killed this woman who was handicapped by her own femininity. But she wanted, like you, to save her people and believed that God would hand the highest ranking officer of the enemy into her capable hands. Let us visit another of my favorite biblical women. We will now visit Rizpah in 2 Samuel. I invite you to read about this warrior of a woman for signs of who we are as women. Rizpah is also one of my favorites because she was so disliked. I can relate. She had been the concubine of a failed and hated king and was ridiculed for being who she was. She had sons that she adored. I can relate. Who were brutally murdered. I can relate. And put on display. This mother did not go and hide away in shame and regret over her plight. She fought for her and her two sons' dignity. Moving to the height of the story. The sons were not only murdered by friendly fire, but they were hung on display to be eaten by vulturous predators. She went alone up to where her sons hung to protect their remains. How hard this must have been to not only watch your sons' brutalized bodies, but to fight off wild, ferocious animals in the same instance. She did this for 6 months until King David came and ceremonially took her sons' bodies down and laid them to rest. She was relentless. The Bible gives views of it all, the good and the not so good. Let's take a biblical look at unkind ways that women have treated their sister women. Matthew 25:8. The foolish one said to the wise, "Give us some of your oil, our lamps are going out." Verse 9, and I quote, "No," they replied, "there may not be enough for both us and you. Instead, go to those who sell oil and buy some for yourselves." End quote. There was not enough oil for both sets of women to meet the bridegroom. But the women seeking the oil had just as much time and opportunity and to prepare for the bridegroom as did the approached women, but frivolously neglected to prepare, yet were willing to cause the prepared women to also lose their opportunity by begging for what they should have already had. The responsibility of the approached women was to say no to this violation. These women asking for oil missed their opportunity. Now, let us look at an example of how being taunted can lead women to do the wrong thing and how much negativity can impact life after life in the line of that kind of fire. Let's look at Leah and Rachel in Genesis 29. Here we find two beautiful women, one considered more beautiful than the other. The green monster called jealousy erupts, and deceit and trickery are the weapons used to fight the monster. When we women figure out the value of
What happened? Is it just me who can't hear?
Yeah, I can't hear either. I think her internet is faltering.
Yeah, she froze on my side too.
I think it's from her side.
Okay.
Can anybody else hear her?
No.
Yes, we can
I
hear
don't
you.
think so. She's
No, we
now
can't hear. I think there's a problem with the internet, as you
I will
said.
try to reach her and then let's go right on.
In the meantime, you can just play some music while she comes back.
Yeah, there is a poem by Ma Eli. I don't know if that's a close item.
Yes, there is a poem, but I thought breaking her and bringing in the poem. Okay, we can do that. If Miley is ready, maybe to save time so that we get into the fundraising. Miley, if you are ready, can you come in, please?
I have it recorded.
Amazonian mother, there is hope, Ma Eli. I stand at the brow of the hill. The sea lies stretched out in the horizon. The amber's bay, sun-bathed in the distance. There is no end to the coastline. Amazonian mother, there is hope, Ma Eli. I stand at the brow of the hill. The sea lies stretched out in the horizon. The amber's bay, sun-bathed in the distance. There is no end to the coastline. What beauty! How attractive! This West African coast seething with fish and game. Then I turned around and looked further north, where the land is dark and giant trees gladden you with fruit. Further north I went, the cold and the red soil mingling to give a fresh new season of crops, wine and oil abundantly, with artists and craftsmen working unceasingly to produce cloth and craft in community. What a land! This is our inheritance given to us by our ancestors. What a land! We will hand it over to our kids at our exit. More varied in character, so overwhelmingly fruitful you never saw. A more welcoming people you have never met. We opened doors to friends and invaders alike, but all they brought was death. I turned around again to watch my children at play. They were not there. There was uncanny silence, but for the sporadic gunshot, all was changed. The land, the coastline, and our children have been sold, and everything is ravaged. Sold for a paltry sum of coins, and our children lay dying in the streets. I saw women widowed at the blink of the eyes, and men shot down and dragged into prison with hot cauldrons for pillows, tied to filthy beds to die without attendants. And some were my personal friends and relatives, and Your personal friends and relatives, comrades. The Amazonian mother stands shivering with baby on the back. Infants who themselves are marked for slaughter by a band of killers. I tremble, not with cold, but with despair. My children, my babies. And desperation brings anger. It surges from within me, coursing through my bones like an electrified body until I can contain it no longer. This is not fever. No, it's grief. I keep the rain and the mosquitoes from my dying infants with the palm of my hand covering their faces. The roof and the floor were blown off by the thieves and grabbers. The plight of my people has hit me hard on the face, and my heart throbs to the rhythm of the shivering of my bones. I can hold it no longer. The attackers are running round Amazonian terrain like rats on a board of chess. They talk of unity, yea, without care. The Amazonian mother has embodied her hopeful countrymen, but also the humiliation of her children, stretching out a hand without being noticed. My children are heroes at the forefront. To them, life and death are the same thing, yet they fight on with hopes of a glance of goodwill from the good people of this earth. Be assured, never has the hawk swooped down on the chicken without braving stiff resistance from the mother hen. And here we stand, Amazonian mothers. We are Amazonian mother hens. We skip century. Amazonian mother, there is hope, Ma Eli.
Okay, I see that Ma Asia is back in, so she can continue from where she ended. Ma Asia, I've asked you to unmute. You can come in now.
Perhaps you want to cue her because I'm not sure she'll be aware of where she ended.
I don't know where I left off at with you.
On Leah and Rachel.
Oh, got that far, huh?
Attentive.
Okay. All right, let me see how I can get down there. Give me a second. And if you guys, maybe Patty can start a video a little bit, music video, if you will, Patty. And I get to that point so I don't have to go over what I've already said. Is that okay, Patty?
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you.
One of your wonderful music videos, please. Thank you.
Heidi, I wonder whether that song, you can play the song I shared with you. I don't know if it's possible.
Okay, that's fine.
of the ones who came before me. I am stronger for their courage. I am wiser for their words. I am lifted by their longing for a fair and brighter future. I am grateful for their vision, for their toiling on this earth. We are standing on the shoulders of the ones who came before us. They are saints and they are humans. They are angels, they are friends. We can see beyond the struggles and the troubles and the challenge when we know that by our efforts things will be better in the end. They lift me higher than I could ever fly, carrying my burdens away. I imagine our world if they hadn't tried. Standing on the shoulders of the ones who came before me. I am honored by their passion for our liberty. I will stand a little taller, I will work a little longer, and my shoulders will be there to hold the ones who follow me. They lift me higher than I could ever fly, carrying my burdens away. I imagine our world if they hadn't tried. Who came before me. I am honored by their passion for our liberty. I will stand a little taller, I will work a little longer, and my shoulders will be there to hold the ones who follow me. My shoulders will be there to hold the ones who follow me.
Get to that place so that I don't repeat myself. I need about 3 or 4 more minutes. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, noted.
You heard me?
Yes.
The cry you will cry when the saints have gone. Cry it now while the saints are still around. The shout you will shout when you heard that the saints have gone. Shout it now while the saints are still around. After rapture, there will be no more mercy. The This is the time to ask for God's mercy when the saints are still around. Mercy will not be available when the saints are gone. Grace will not be available when the saints are gone. Mercy and grace will not be available when the saints are gone. Repentance is now while the saints are still around. Repentance is now while the saints are still in the world. This is the time to serve Him in truth and in spirit. Be conscious of eternity. Don't live your life anyhow. Oh, heaven is real, hell is real. Come to Jesus today. Seek Him when He can be found. Tomorrow might be too late. Oh, He's knocking at the door of your heart. Let Him in, He's waiting for you. Remember, He will not wait forever. He's available now. No, let Him in, He's waiting for you. Akwa ikebe, minuru nandi salawo. Beyubwa, mwendi soka nonuwa. Ude igasu, mbigeti, akwa ikebe, minuru nawali wandi so.
But as I was saying, that I talked to you about the oil, and now we're going into another example that I think is important for us. Because as much as love is all pulsating through our hearts, we can get, as one of my sisters said a long time ago, somebody can break in on our flow. We might be doing things very, very wisely, and then something or someone breaks in. And I think to know our own innate natures will help us just be stronger, wiser women. So we will get now let's look at, wait just a minute, let me correct something here. Okay. Yeah. And I was telling you about Rachel and her sister, no less, Leah, who were both beautiful women, but because of different things that were going on in their lives, that green monster called jealousy erupts, and deceit and trickery are the weapons used to fight the monster. When we women figure out the value of other women on our planet, we will cease to make blanket statements like, I don't like women. Rejection, envy, jealousy, and the desire to be pursued are feminine emotions that are as familiar today as they were in biblical times. Just as they were lethal to human relationships then, so they are now. We must guard ourselves against these ravishing monsters to become the giants God created us to be. We women are amazing. We are the only ones on the planet who knows what it feels like to be an Eve, Jael, or Rizpah. So we must always give grace where it can be applied and when we interrelate with other women who all need grace. Our God expects us to give it bountifully and consistently, to build up not only the woman it is applied to, but to build up our own feminine power. Yes, ladies, we are all innately courageous, shrewd, sweet, gentle, and rough. Our teeth are sharp, but let us learn to use our feminine weapons against our enemies and in support of our sisters who are not our enemies, but are our fellow queens. Love is 1 Corinthians 13, 4 through 8. It will benefit us greatly to gift it freely to all women. The world should never underestimate the power of a woman with a prayer and a plan. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Patty, can you unmute everyone? Yeah, thank you so much for those inspiring words. And
Thank you, Mama Isaiah.
Thank you.
Bless you,
Maria. God bless you, Maria.
Thank you. Well said. Well done.
Thank you for
The
standing
heart
with
of
us.
compassion. Keep in. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you so much. Now
Thank
we
you
are
for
moving
standing with us.
My sheer incredible honor. I am so, you guys are, the world needs to see you. That's all I can say. You're suffering because people need you. They need you. You're the example people need. You gotta understand that, and it makes you handle your suffering better. It certainly helps me handle mine better. You know, keep understanding that every pain you have is valuable, very, very valuable. Don't see it as a put down, as if you're less than. You are leaders. God showed you in the Bible. I mean, it's point blank. You are the leaders. I'm sorry if anybody don't get that. It ain't their business. You are who you are.
All right. Thank you once more. Thank you so much. We are moving to the last part of our program. We are already towards the end. And at this juncture, I would like to call on the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia to launch the fundraising. Was that to me? No. All right. So, Mr. Vice President, if we are requesting you to open and launch this fundraising event for us.
Nana, they see. Look at this Asia is crazy.
I muted everyone.
Mr. VP, kindly unmute.
My fellow Ambazonians, we've heard everyone today. Thank you, Ms. Asia. I really appreciate you being here. You've been an inspiration to all of us and to our women, most especially. You've heard all what we have said here today, and I hope you will continue to pray for us. Make sure that we do not abandon our resolve to see our country free. You know, my fellow Ambazonians, I just want you guys to know, all of you here to know, that we cannot afford to lose hope. I know that a few weeks ago, we heard the news that the terrorist country of La République du Cameroon decided to pull out from the negotiation process. And they are now being scrolled by the international community. And if they are not careful, they will become the pariah of the world. Enemies of peace. And I'm quite certain that if we were the ones, we had been the ones who actually pulled out from that process, the world would have come out really strongly against us. But now they know that the fact that we had sat on that table for 3 years and that La Republique had never shown any interest to do the same, they now know who is the real perpetrator for all the killings that are going on in our country. We had a guest here who advised us to abandon our what we seek to achieve. Well, I believe I speak for everyone here when I say we disagree with that. I disagree with it emphatically. Because you cannot advise a woman who is being raped to let herself be raped by the rapist in the name of just let it go. No, we are never gonna give up. And I really want to say, you know, I know that it's always good to have people of different opinions come here to speak. But I've heard that lady speak before, and I didn't like what she said, and I don't like it. I didn't like what she said today either. So I think we should maybe stay away from her a little bit, because if her only motivation is to come here and demoralize us, then we don't really need to be talking to people like that. But the fact of the matter is, I'm an independentist. I want to see my country free. I don't have to be talking to people who don't have the same aspirations like I do. And if you are in this government and you have federalist inspirations, federalist tendencies, I think it's time for you to just say, hey, I'm going, and you will live. We all here are fighting to free our country, and that is the price that we seek, and that's the price, that is the victory we're going to have. So I want to thank everyone who endeavored to come here today and participate in this meeting. And I think it's my Yaya and someone else is going to be, you know, doing a little fundraising for the women's department. So I will encourage every Ambazonian who can to give all they can for this cause. I will be putting in $100 to launch the contribution. Thank you very much. As you can tell, I'm not feeling well. My whole house, we are all sick in our house. We have a cold, so.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
I came here because you know, I couldn't turn down this invitation from women. So, but I'm not quite well. Anyway, thank you.
I appreciate. Thank you.
We appreciate. Thank you so much, VP. Lady Casey and Dr. Yaya, the floor is yours.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much. Very, very beautiful moderator. You've done a fantastic job to pull this evening through. Our respect, and to the entire team, of course, MAPE and the entire team, those working behind the scenes to make sure that this day is a success. A special welcome and appreciation to our special guest, Ma Asia and Mrs. Tinsler, sorry. Despite our differences in opinion, I mean, we're democratic people and we're free people, so we are free to speak of our minds, like a VP expressed himself. However, we are respectful people as well, and we accommodate differences in opinion, and we do so respectfully. So thank you all for being here, dear comrades. We have heard all these wonderful, touching speeches. I don't want to drag this on. It's quite late over here, and I'm just afraid that Lady Casey, my able, you know, co-moderator for this part, might have fallen asleep, because to be honest, I had to take some coffee to stay awake. So permit me, if we cannot get her, I'll keep trying throughout. We have seen all these videos. They are self-explanatory. We know all these stories. We have actually lived them every day through going through our WhatsApp forum and seeing all these horrendous pictures. And our wonderful Chief of Staff for HSS, Ma
sorry, I'm just retired. Macaro, as well as Margot I, they have actually given us a clear picture of what our female refugee or the prisoner or the internally displaced and the wounded most especially. I really want to thank Mami Godi I for actually putting that elaborate picture, because that is one part of our struggle that is actually underrepresented, because we tend to underestimate the fact that I guess because they are alive, we think that everything is okay, but living in pain, a lot of people get into depression, and some become suicidal and actually take away their lives because of the pain. And some express the wish to, I would rather be dead than live in this sort of a situation. So please, let's think of all our suffering people. The pain is enormous, starting from our little girls, as we heard from our refugee sister in the camps, the vulnerabilities they are exposed to, the fact that they are economically disadvantaged, they are forced into unwanted situations like prostitution, or forced into relationships that they would normally not be a part to, and this leads to unwanted pregnancies, to diseases, illnesses, sexually transmitted diseases that come as a result of all this, and that also causes premature death. So the problems are enormous, starting with basic needs like, basic hygiene, having pads. A lot of our girls are actually using leaves, tree leaves as pads. Think about it. The rate of infection and the problems that may cause in future, infertility, you name it. So we just cannot list all of this. So please, I don't want to make this a lengthy speech-making thing. We should be touched listening to all these testimonies and watching the pictures. I'm just praying that we are all moved and we'll be ready to chip in something to help our girls. This fundraiser is focusing on the girl or the female or the woman as a subset of the entire picture of our refugees, IDPs, prisoners of wars, and especially not forgetting our widows who, were forced to become widows because their husbands or partners decided to pay the ultimate price, fighting for freedom. So I pray that you're touched like I am, and you'll be able to chip in something to help our girls, our women, our mothers who are suffering, in their various situations. So I myself, I'll be chipping $300 to support the VP in this gesture to launch this project. So if there are any, if you're moved, and I'm sure you are, please raise your hand or write in the chat. And I'm just going to plead with one of my sisters to share the payment link on the chat forum. I'm sorry, I'm using a different device. You can also make pledges if we don't have them ready right now, but I'm sure someone might be able to share them.
Yeah, my Buddha, the message you just sent on the platform was to me directly. Perhaps you want to, the VP hasn't seen it. Do you want to do it again? My Buddha, your reaction to what the VP said. You want to, I'm the only one that's seen it.
Paddy, maybe you can disable the chat now. Sorry, you can enable the chat. I'm sorry. Because some people may want to make pledges on the chat forum.
Yes, I just did that.
Thank you so much.
There's the hand of Maya.
Okay, sorry, I'm still trying to get used to the fact that I'm missing my co-helper. Oh, Brother Fred, definitely.
Yes.
Well, Brother Fred is, let me not say much, but he's probably, he can introduce himself better. Brother Fred, over to you.
Thank you. I'll just be brief. I'm Ma Winnie's husband. I will donate $500.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. Thank
Sorry,
you.
I can't really scream
Thank
here
you.
because
God bless you. God bless you, Brother
God
Fred.
bless you so much.
Thank
Sorry,
you so much.
oh my God.
Wow.
This is great.
Thank
Can
you.
someone help
It
me
is.
Space is
take
not
down
there.
the notes?
Let me add prof space to just complete it.
Someone please take the names down. I'm sorry, I can't do it at the same time. So, Brother Fred, we are so grateful. I'm sorry, I can't really scream here. I'm not in my own space, and it's past midnight. But we're truly grateful to you and your family for your continuous sacrifice in every area. Your time, your money, your heart. That's big. That's big. I truly appreciate you. Thank you. So, see the princess smiling over there. Yeah, the woman who turns the head. Yeah.
Exactly.
Great to see you, Mawini. And we've got Mark Gilda, the powerful lady of Mancon Bachongwa. That's the chair lady. And also a powerful woman in Bowie County. She's one of our backbones, I must say. So can we unmute Mark Gilda, please? I don't know why I have to get it, to be honest, and I'm struggling with this. Dr. Fadi?
Okay, thank you, Dr. Yaya. Thank you so much. I want to say,
the message you are sending, you send to me directly. Change it and send to everyone, please.
I want to say it was a privilege for me. Participating, just following this discussion today was really, really amazing. I'm so proud of all of those who organized it and all the speakers that were brought here today. They brought like a broad view and a very good insight to our fight, to our infighting. But the reason why I put my hand, Maya, is not because I want to contribute any financial contribution, but because I want to hail Dr. Lobati and Mawini Lobati for all what that they've been doing so far, not only at the level of Ambazonia wide, but also at the LGA level. So I want to say thank you, because whatever they do projects Mancon Bachongwa very well. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Margilda. That's also very, very gracious of you. Appreciating, acknowledging, is that's something we take for granted, but it is very, very good. But Margilda, having said that, you are also a key member in HSS, and I know where your heart lies. How if you just come in, just talk, say, just kind of praise Mancon Bachongwa, Mami Abek, shake skin. Now I know what you're doing actually, to be honest, in HSS and everywhere. Huh?
Of the house keep disappearing and appearing.
Okay. So Magilda, you not go support me for this project, mommy. Anyway, good. Thank you. Anyway, my Ben, this is our very, very, oh my God, sometimes sometimes we get praises and I think, no, there are people who work, who really do the work and genuinely, without even seeking any form of acknowledgement or praises, and they do that with all their heart. To be honest with you, my Ben is one of those people. I've always told her that. And the gracious thing about her is that she always tells the other person that you're good, you're doing well, very encouraging, always uplifting. So this is the spirit that we've heard all our speakers say tonight. Yes, we are individuals, we are, fallible, we're going to make mistakes and hurt each other, but let us be each other's keeper. Marben, I thank you for your consistency. You have always put Amazonia first. Even when you disagree on certain things, you know that it has to do with Amazonia. You're there. Thank you. So the floor is yours. Sorry, I'm talking too much.
Thank you very much. Somebody is talking. Oh, all right. Thank you. First, caution, the chat room is directed to Comrade Paddy King. I think it was supposed to be general. Please, Paddy King, fix that. Because
I think the one that's not, it's general for everybody. It says, they say every.
Check. I did not see the one that is for everybody. I went back after I said that.
Yes, check again.
Okay, now it says participants can chat. So I don't know if I, the co-host, can control that or it's just. Yeah, let's make that available now and hope that we have reasonable people in the house.
Okay, that's it. I thank you, Maya, for me. I wish I could really do as much as you do, Chris. I'll be great. But the little very much.
Mm.
And also, those that is recording the fund that has been. I was first a co-host, but you know, I'm always fidgeting. So somebody called me and I went out and I lost my co-host there.
Director Paddy can just make you a co-host again. Yeah.
Okay. And so just let us know that I am one of those appointed to record the fundraising for today.
Oh, that's true. Oh my God.
Okay.
Sorry,
Thank
Mikey.
you.
Thank you so much. Okay, so you're doing the job. Thanks a lot, because I was trying to scribble down. So far we've got the VP launching with $100, myself with
Yes,
300.
yourself, VP, yourself, $300, Dr. Fred, $500. Thank you very much. And I thank all those, the VP, I thank you, Maya. Thank you so much. You are, with honestly, so to me it's you. And so if you give me one
All right.
praise, I'll give you 10.
Thank you. We'll see. We'll talk that more. Let us go around the house. We've got 57 people here. Please just help us raise your hands so we don't make this, we don't stretch the evening much longer than it should be. I know how much you care for this struggle for suffering people, and that's why you're here. You know, burning the lamp, be here. So please, let's get the hands up.
Mawini, is your hand up?
Yes, it is actually up. I made it a brown hound, like my brown hand.
Oh my!
I just
What an
want
honor.
No, thank you. My husband took care of the business for both of us.
Okay.
But I wanted to, I think you forgot to remind people that whatever is paid into the national treasury should be designated Department of Women's Services fundraising. Is that what you want, my patients? What code did you want?
DWS, in short, DWS.
DWS. So that it goes into the right account, or it'll get lost in that basket of too much.
Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker of the House, for that very, very, very useful intervention there. Thank you. Thank you. See what happens when women with heart and brain work together. Yes, that's so important, because as you know, the Amberland Humanitarian Foundation is the umbrella, is the mother organization, and you have different pockets. So we have to actually specify this is going for the women project, for the female girl, for the girl child, and all that we have mentioned. So please, it's very, very important when you do your donations that you emphasize on the reference, you state DWS. So I'm seeing some chats there from Ma Vivian, who has pledged $100. Ma Vivian, we appreciate you so much from JICWA LGA. Thank you so much. You're also a constant fighter, you're a warrioress, you know, on the background. Thank you for all you do. We appreciate you. So, Ma Ben, I'm sure you're taking that. And we've got
There's also Prof. IE.
Oh, Prof.
Prof. IE.
Oh, wow. You see, behind strong women are even stronger men. So, yeah. Prof, you're one of them. Thank you so much. Thank you for all you do. We really appreciate you.
How much is Prof?
$100.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prof. So let's take Marlinian. I guess this is Marlinian from Australia.
Yeah, good morning, everyone, my brothers and sisters. I'm so happy to participate. My voice is so low because I'm not feeling well. Maya, thank you so much, Mami. You're doing a great job. I just want to chip in $50 for the women.
Wow.
You know, as I said, this problem has created a lot of problems that I'm a victim. My sister was raped in the presence of her husband. She got pregnant. She's having a baby now and living in Nigeria. You can imagine how this girl, you know, raising a child, and the husband too has been so tolerant to keep this child. Every day she goes through trauma, and yesterday she said she thinks like killing herself. I said, you can't do that. You're an African child, you can fight trauma. Just keep going and keep pushing. So whenever I'm sending support to them, I also send to the other women who are suffering. So I don't have much, just $50 at least, even help them to get more leaves from the tree to use as part. So I will put the $50 into Amberland Humanitarian in Australia. Is that okay?
That's okay, my dear.
That's
Just
okay.
just specify the
Just indicate.
DWS so that
Okay.
it goes into the right basket. Thank you so much. Don't say just
Okay.
50. It's not small. You are calling from a
Thank
sick
you.
bed. This is someone who is actually, if
Yeah.
I'm not mistaken, might was in hospital or just left hospital. Mali, thank you so much. We appreciate everything you do. So nothing is small. This is
Yeah,
something
you're
that all
welcome.
hands.
Madam Moderator, with your permission, can I talk
Thank
to
you.
Mama Lilia, please?
Thank you, Ma Lilian. Thank you, God.
Can I talk to her about this story?
There's some two hands up.
Sorry, Paddy, let's get the money and then we'll have a little break between. Is that okay? So we don't break the flow. And then I think I've seen another pledge. Ben, are you on the chat? 25 euros from Reverend Younger. Oh,
Okay.
Reverend, I don't know how to appreciate you. Should I? It's not a secret. The Reverend's
Is SOS Frank also
Okay, how much?
$50 from SOS
Oh,
Frank?
thank you so much. Our SOS for defense, Mr. Frank Cheney, another warrior, constant in everything that concerns Amazonia. Thank you so much. Reverend, we appreciate you. Without a job, so to say, without working, you always squeeze the little you have for Amazonia. We appreciate that so much. And then we've got Ma Antayuka, of course, and Mamu M&M.
My Asia's hand is
My
up.
Asia's
please.
hand
Oh, did
is
I?
first.
Oh, okay. My
Yes.
Asia has a brown hat, so it's camouflage. So, my Asia, you've been given a title.
Yeah,
Thank
thank you. Yeah.
So the floor is yours.
I could only, well, not
We can hear you, ma'am.
It's muted. Okay.
There we go. Okay. Yes, I'd like to contribute 20 at a time like this. I think that's like the lady with the copper penny for me. I really appreciate doing anything I can to help the women who are going through this, anything. So thank you so much. I just want to know, how do I complete it? I put in there that I want to contribute that, but how do I get it to you?
Maisha, I will send you the information through PayPal. It's also on the forum, but I'll send it to you directly through PayPal. That's what you prefer, right?
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
Okay, just help
How
me
much was the amount?
repost it. I think that will help. Someone can repost it every now and then.
Okay.
It'll be a good idea too. So thank you, Maisha. I didn't get the amount. Did I miss that?
$20, my love.
Oh,
20.
thank you. Thank you so
Yes,
much.
you're welcome.
Thank you. And we appreciate you spending time with us and, using your platform to spread our story. We need ambassadors like you. I'm sure you're going to extend that. And you can forward that to well-wishers in your sphere of influence, as we know you do have a big one. So thank you. Thank you for having us as your sisters. Okay.
Yeah, me
So,
too.
you're welcome. And we've got the hand of Ma and Tayuka. Look, we have a cabinet, which is a physical cabinet. But guess what? We also have a spiritual cabinet in this struggle. And I guess that's a unique thing about our revolution. So Ma Ann is one of the core members, I believe, in that spiritual cabinet. And she can tell us more. Ma Ann, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Yaya. Thank you so much. Ma Winnie, you are part of that spiritual cabinet. I see you know the
spiritual and
yeah,
physical.
so
Wow.
yeah, since as a member of the spiritual cabinet, I want to first of all encourage us that Amazonia is free.
Amen.
Amazonia is already free. We are not depending on anybody, any source, any nation to come and help us set us free. Because God Almighty that created Amazonia has already set us free. Amen. Thank God for people like Ma Asia, who is here all the time to encourage us. We are going to raise your hand as we get to Boya. at at the Bogo Square. That is where we celebrate our events. Thank you, Maisha.
Amen.
Yes, I just
Amen.
want to say yes. I'm part of the group, a group of 3. Dr. Yaya, you are part of it. I don't know. We have to raise a given amount. That aside, I'm going to I'm going to contribute $100 for now.
Wow.
So book me down for $100. And then Ma Lilian, during the chat time, please let us talk. I want to have your sister's contact, because your sister needs encouragement from outsiders, not only from family members. So please, I would like to have your sister's contact after when we get into the chatting time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Maan.
Left.
Welcome.
Okay, we'll reach out to her. I think I can share. We will share her with Maan. That's a very, very important the moral.
Miley is pledging 100.
Wow, Miley, always there for us. What do we say?
Always
the
there.
Maya Angelou of the struggle. The great poet. Thank you. We appreciate your time and your love and passion for the struggle. So, Maben, you got it from Miley?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much, Miley. Who is the next hand? Let's have more hands so that I don't talk too much, because I tend to talk
That's
too
not
much.
a hand. But the good news is the $500 has been paid already. So my bad. Take note. This is the message: support for Amazonia women, so that way it doesn't get lost in their big pot and they give you some stories.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think he dropped it. He dropped it in before we told him to put DWS.
That's okay. Still the same. Wow, we so appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you, Mawini and Brother Fred, Brother Dr. Fred.
God bless you.
Oh, of course, we've got the hand of the mother in the house. That is none else than, the DWS, SOS, MAPE, Dr. Biedu, Dr. Biedu, the titles are plenty. Anyway.
Ma. Let's stick with Ma. Yes, so this is from Nick Julius. He's just sent word that he's a retiree, so he just wants to send a little bit of support for $100.
Oh,
Wow.
tell him thank you.
Wow.
That it is not just. We appreciate it.
It's not just, it's a lot.
Yeah, we appreciate him so much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And we got Maya Bude, whose hand is up. Maya, you're unmuted. Maya Bude.
Thank you very much, my sisters, the great ladies of Amazonia. You know that for the most part, I depend on gifts to be able to do something. I did say yesterday that my love for Minnesota visited me, and he gave me $100. I already proposed to pay 50 yesterday to support Momo, and the other 50 I will pay for this fundraising. Actually, I had arranged with my Vicky to come and pick up the money, the cash, so that she will forward it to you. For some reason, when she came to look for me, I was not there, but I will still get the money to her. So I'm paying 50 for now, and
that
my
is
group
my
is
one and only
Intelli.
my Bude. Always doing
Thank you. I know.
Always. Thank you very
Oh,
much.
Thank you
God
so much,
bless you,
Ma.
God bless you.
They
Thank
give
you,
you
Ma.
dash, you take and dash and begin for that. God bless you.
tell
Love
you.
I know.
I tell you.
She walks by faith.
Amen.
She pledges by faith and walks by faith, and God comes through every time for her.
Amen. Thank you so much, Ma.
Yes, I'm also a member of the spiritual cabinet. So I was actually,
Confirm.
so that is some of the power which propels me on.
Amen. Amen. God is real. Okay. So do we have any further hands? I just had a call.
Ben, can you tell us what the total is so far? If you can, or Ma Winnie, I see it, you're writing it down.
Oh, how did you catch me?
I saw you.
Okay.
I have 1495. I don't know if I'm correct. Am I correct?
No, I think it's
No,
15.
no, no.
15.
It's 15 more. 15 something.
1525.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Let me see.
1,000. 1, 2, 3,
The
4.
prof, I not put the 100.
Yes, it did.
Yes.
Okay, let's.
But let's just go on
Yeah,
after.
let's go on. Sorry, I'm sure it's because I was
Yes, I'm doing it manually, so my let's just do it.
Please, let's get more hands. We have 51 people in here. Just think about it. If we all chip in something, our women, our girls, our ladies, our sisters, aunties, they will all have a wonderful. This is September going to October, because this whole project goes on. We've just launched it today, but it carries on. You know, the intention is to make sure that they have a wonderful Christmas. At least they don't feel that they are left out. We know we cannot solve all of their problems, but at least we can be that beacon of hope. And that is the tradition of the Department of Women's Affairs, as Ma Pei and Ma Rachel.
We have people in the chat.
Thank you, Ma Prof.
Augustine.
Okay,
Augustine,
Shay Augustine.
100.
Wow, thank you. Thank you, Shay. Thank you, Shay Augustine.
Ma Free 50.
Ma Free or Gilia. I'm seeing something like, I saw Free Ilia. Thank you. I need glasses. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Magilda is saying we should.
From where? It's not free from where? Because we need to, when we have to follow up.
It's Marfree Longchi. Marfree Longchi.
Okay.
Oh, Marfree, come on, Marfree. How can you hide in the background? Come on, let's see your beautiful face and your voice, and listen to that voice. Just say hi, Marfree. It's been a long time.
Yeah. Okay. Let me turn on my camera.
Yeah. Come on.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Marfree. I can't see you. Okay. Yes.
Let me turn the light on. Hold on. Let me turn the light on.
Marfree, you've been disguised with the name. I cannot even recognize.
I'm here.
She's in her blue too. Beautiful blue.
Oh, and
yes,
she's in blue,
I
the
am.
real colors.
Nice picture.
Thank you,
Sorry if I
Hi,
did.
ladies.
Don't get everybody. But
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Marfree. Thank you for everything.
Thank you so much.
That's my able member in DMV. That's my able DMV member.
Ma Ben, they say from your fruits you shall know them. And of course, if that's your fruit, then congratulations. Good job. Oh, we've got two hands up. So we've got Ma Vicky of Bali LTA. And this is our able Ma Vicky, right? The chair lady, the chair of the National Treasury. Did we say that? The chair of the board.
Yes, of the board.
Thank you. Ma Vicky, the floor is yours.
Hello, ladies.
Hello,
I am so
Maviki.
sorry I can't put my picture on. We had an event in church that Kimba was beat down, dragged down, tired. So I just had to join this meeting. Thank you, ladies, for all that you are doing. I really appreciate putting anything together like this is not easy. I want to appreciate the speakers that came and talked. Even when we disagree with what people say, every day we learn something, right? So we appreciate. Mama Asia, our mama that has adopted Ambazonia, she's actually from Ambazonia. Mama Asia, I want to appreciate you. I especially want to appreciate what you said about women. I'm just pleading, and I keep pleading, and I'm pleading to everybody. Let's find a way to work together. Let's find a way to lift up each other, because we're going to get to Boya somehow. And let's get there in a peaceful way. I'm just begging. I'm going to put in $100.
Yes,
I really, it almost put me to tears hearing that one of our sisters here, the sister was raped and she had a baby. We have a lot of work to do, ladies. Let us work together and uplift our women. Let us do it. We have our 3 women fundraiser thing that we're gonna go. Let's go out there and talk to people about things like this and raise this. I'm the one who's gonna be tracking all the money. So if you just put there Department of Women, something about Department of Women, I will still know is this fundraiser. Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Thank you so much, Maviki. And we appreciate you for being everywhere and doing it.
Thanks,
all the time.
Maviki.
Thank you.
Great advice.
Yeah. And we have our next silent giant too. Call her a silent giant because I know what she does on the background, but it's never at the forefront. This is the great Mape of the UK. The other Mape, the other side of our very able Nijo, you know, the one that stabilizes that head that looks so strong. So Mape, thank you. The floor is yours. Thank you for your beautiful voice, for always, you know, bringing light into the room. Let me not talk too much. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Yaya, and greetings again, ladies. I just want to indicate that my LGA has donated $100 for this fundraiser. Yeah, I know we'll be doing the individual ones, which will come up, and the group ones. So I think I'll come up again when we do the group ones. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mape. And just to say that LGA is Bamenda Group, so it's Bamenda One. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate you. My Ben, you got that, huh?
Yes, I got it. Oh, yes.
I know, money.
Thank you very much.
Okay, my dear people, we did how many for group? 50. 50, that's a good number. It's a round number. Imagine all 50 just did something. I don't want to set any amount. I know you're gonna be moved by what your heart tells you, and anything is good. Anything is good, so long as that's your best you can do for now. And please remember, carry the message.
Thank you very much. That was a good one.
Thank you, dear. And please, let's have the payment reposted. I think Magilda asked for it. So Magilda is the mother of HSS, so she's probably about to do some big things. So please, let's share, repost that payment method or the payment link. So 50 people in the house, please have some hands.
I want to say that I share the payment link to my patients, you, my Yaya, and my Benedicta. It's on your WhatsApp forums labeled Women's Department of Women's Services fundraiser. So if you could share that one, and it also has a Europe and Australian account attached to that. Thank you.
Thank you, Maviki. My problem is that I have it on. I'm using my laptop.
Did you see the one we have on the chat already? I think I have
it's there, but it doesn't have the European account with that. I don't know why they cut it off.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
So Mape, you've got it, right? So or anybody who has it, just help us share because I'm using a different device. Oh, my honorable representative of the interim House of Representatives from Bui County, and that's none other than the Honorable Yawobun. The floor is yours.
Yeah, good evening, ladies. Sorry, I was already asleep. I just got up again. And I just want to support this initiative with $50.
Oh, wow.
I would have wished to add more if I had, but for now, let me just keep what I have for now, $50.
Thank you so much, sis. That's not small. Not just, please.
And I wish to thank the speakers for the evening because they brought a lot of inspiration. And I learned a lot from them too, knowing that if we the women, if we listen to each other carefully, we are going to learn and support each other. And we go together. Because if we hold our hands together, we can do greater things than not supporting each other. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable. Thank you. We so appreciate you. Thank you. And let's have the next takers. I'm not sure how to get the list of participants now on my laptop. Now then they house so na shake skin. Full screen.
Yeah, maybe as a shake skin, you permit me, make I show them the achievement for women's department.
Okay, good timing, buddy. Thank you. Thank you. And I love the colors, the blue, white, yellow. Ethics Commission. So Tom Dula, the floor is yours.
Yeah, let him go ahead.
Yes. Thank you, Maya. Good evening.
Good evening.
My fellow Amber
Good
ladies,
evening.
the Vice President, who invited guests. I'm very happy to be here today. Already dozed off, woke up again. So before I finally close my eyes, let me chip in some little something into the women's basket. I'll be giving $100.
Yay! Wow. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you
Yes.
so much. Wow.
For all the good work.
Thank you. Thank you for always being a constant support. All the time.
Always, all the time.
It's always keeping the seed warm all the time.
Yeah, all the time.
So we must get to Boya, come rain, come thunder.
Oh yes, that's the spirit. Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Ndula.
Okay, what I wanted to show is not the wrapper, it's the achievement of the women's department convent
Okay.
project.
All right, buddy, go ahead. Just keep an eye on the floor. If we have many hands, then maybe we just pause and then take the hands, please. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Okay, mommy them, my family them, with my papa them. These things they wanna say I wanna do for years so for collect. Na mother, go for back. Na okay, mommy them, my family them, with my papa them. These things they wanna say I wanna do for years so for collect. Na mother, go for back. Na una mommy them for diaspora. Now they don't send us in a special Christmas fund for these 14 families where they don't say Muna enjoy Christmas. Muna no say they did there for Una.
We are here at the operational headquarters of SASCAM, Save a Soul Cameroon, in Kankop, Bafoussam. We are here on behalf of the Women's Association. The association has sent in a consignment of parts. SASCAM will be celebrating the World Day for Menstrual Cycle, and SASCAM is currently preparing some packs of other items that will be handing over to young girls who are into menstruation. And Madam there we have antiseptic soap which they are preparing. We just saw body lotion of different categories. We saw camel water, and they are planning to prepare kits and packs that will be handed over to these young girls with the help of Madam Get Courage.
She finds into the tangri tangri oh we sui bere that you do me
ya ja yong ring wan yo we sui vere. Shu fight tang kum tsani tang rio we sui vere. Ta chu ve tsako yong ring wan yo we sui vere. Shu fight la I tang rio we sui vere. Ta chu bu shu o ja yong ring wan yo we sui vere. Shu fight you ari tang rio we sui vere. Ta chu la fono ja yong ring wan yo we sui vere. Shu fight wo shu bo we tang rio we sui vere. Mama madu ja yong ri kuranio we sui vere. Shu fight wo luni tang rio we sui vere. Ta chu fight yo ja yong ring wan yo we sui vere. Shu find them sunny tang rio we sui vere. Ta do manu mangu tari angwa shivi we sui vere. Ta dum lantumbo ja tari angwa shivi we sui vere. Ta dum sunjo aja tari angwa shivi we sui vere. We're caught in Jamiru, we're caught in Jamiru. Baby Sakio, we're a one gamo, we're a one gamo. Yamo ye, we're a one gami. Wombo, we're a one gami. Fumi love by wo, Imo ye, a combi America obo. Kinja kigarwo, kiwo to me, she's on me. Yamasan tawo mi wa mi akumo mi choro wa mi tu yasimo wumu kivende wonso yo kipung la wo wa mi mu hombo mo ho Tata manu manguji atari angwa shivi we sui vere. Tatum sunjo aja atari angwa shivi we sui vere. Oh pastors aja atari angwa shivi we sui vere. Tatum lantumbo atari angwa shivi we sui vere.
Comrade, are you through?
Done with that, unless you want something else.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. That was beautiful. For that interlude. I just want to appreciate all those who have.
The thing touch me. That's some other man sing.
Sound
I
it
know you
okay.
the two way the man talk, but the thing touch me.
Yeah, that song. I don't know. Wait till that song's meaning. Now for my country talk, but I get to think before I no go talk like. But I go interpret them. Anyway, thanks everybody, and for all the new people that want just pledge and pay. Reverend Yunga has paid in his 26 euros. That has been paid, and Pastor Commando has also pledged 20. Was that 25? Sorry, bear with me 1 second. Yeah, 20,000 20,000 francs CFA. Thank you so much. And Comrade Kingsley dropped something on the chat forum, $50. We are so appreciative of all of you. Sorry, if there's anyone I haven't acknowledged or I haven't called the name, just make a sign or wave. So we will be sharing the payment link. So please invite friends, any sympathizers, anybody, a citizen of peace and love for humanity. Just share this with them.
Doctor, yeah, one more comment, please.
Okay.
So I just want to share with everyone that the footages that we saw, they're not really comprehensive. When we carried out the Christmas fundraising last time we did it, we really helped at least 20 LGAs. Some of them sent footages, and with time they got deleted. We didn't really save them well, and but we will try to retrieve some of them and really make a nice, comprehensive documentary for future release. And then the most recent PAD initiative that was just this end of May, that one went to refugees in Nigeria. Um, and some of the kids really made some very beautiful videos that I didn't have time to share with Paddy to release today, but maybe in the future. And then this fundraising is going through to the end of November. So when we have the women's department, will be having a end of year summit in December. We intend at that time to tell our donors how everything that you donated has been used, because everything that you're giving now will be put to use before Christmas of this year. So that at that time when we come, you'll see the pictures. Go ahead, Maya.
Thank you, Mape, for giving in more light, because it's important, so we know, and that's part of accountability and transparency. There'll be time for all the details. So Tata
I
Jonas.
have a donation here from Ma Consola, Manini.
Oh, that's
Ma, you
wonderful.
said the chart is working well.
It is now, yeah.
Yeah, she says she's making a donation $50.
Oh, thank you, Ma Consolata. That's one of financial engines, again, on the background,
so
always doing it. Ma, thank you. Thank you for all the sacrifices. I know how you spend long nights working, and you're always donating. Thank you, Ma. So Ma Consolata, that was $50. And I think Comrade Kingsley, has that been recorded, Ma Ben? 50. You're muted, Ma Ben. That's not it. Paddy, can you just make my bank co-host, please, so she can control. Please just make her co-host.
What comrades? Kingsley 50 or 100? I must have written down the wrong thing.
50.
Okay, 50. Okay.
But may I just know who after Pastor Commando? You mentioned somebody before Tata Jonas.
No, that was Reverend Lyunga.
Reverend Lyunga came a long time ago with 25.
It's a long time ago. When you called Pastor Commando just a few minutes ago, after
you said Comrade Kingsley.
Kingsley K.
I probably repeated myself. Yeah, sorry.
I got Kingsley. I got Dr. Commando.
Okay.
And then Tata Jonas too. Did you get that? And Consolata.
Yes, I did. I did.
Okay. Tata Jonas, thank you so much. Ma Consolata, thank you plenty. We appreciate Muna.
There's a hand up, Ma.
I have to move to my phone. I'm just finding it, the setting. I've probably clicked on something. Sorry, which hand? Whose hand is it? I'm just seeing the four of us.
Let me ask him to unmute.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I've asked him to unmute.
Oh, thank you, Comrade Etienne. Please unmute and speak. But Mimi, I'm just going to swap gadgets because I'm not seeing.
Good evening, Dr. Yaya, I think.
Good evening, Comrade.
Good evening. I'm just curious. Most of the time, anything on ABC, I just want to step in and know what is going on. I'm a retired civil servant.
Oh.
I just celebrated 70 years last week.
Oh, wow. God bless you.
Everything on ABC, I am just very curious to know what is going on. So I just came back from church and I see some footages there trying to donate something to help other people. So I'm so happy to see that. So I would like to also contribute. I don't know how to do it. I think Paddy will be able to tell me how I can contribute. I would like to send $200.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Thank you so much.
My name is Peter Acha, really, Itigite is only but able people can pronounce that name.
Okay.
Itigite. So, yeah,
Okay,
Itigite.
dear Peter. Thank you
Yes,
so much. Oh my God, we
yes.
appreciate you. Happy
Peter Acha.
birthday. May
Yeah.
God grant you many, many more years so that you live to see Boya, actually. So we all celebrate this together. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, I'm a Batman man from Boya too.
Boya.
Thank you, Peter Acha.
Yes.
Thank you so much for your donation. I think you've contributed to this department before. Yeah.
I always like to contribute.
Yes. Thank you so
I
much.
like to contribute to pay all
Me
what
do.
you people are struggling to do what we did not do.
Amen.
I like to encourage
That's
that.
so humble.
Yes, I
Thank you
like to
so much.
encourage it.
Thank you very much.
We have really suffered. Some of us have suffered as civil servants. And when we
Mm.
see young people coming out to do what we were supposed to do, most of the time I was encouraged to donate something. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Miracle, the
Thank
better,
you.
better,
Boro,
Miracle.
boro,
Borobot.
So
Thank you very
so at
much.
least you're hooked up to with Paddy, right? So Paddy has your contacts. Or
Yes, he
Nini,
doesn't
you
know
get
me
my
in
number.
person, but somebody I admire so much. So if you can send me the how I should be able to send the money, I can even send it to ABC.
Nini, do you have my number? Nini, you
let
want to
somebody
write me?
take his number. Lee, can you share your number with us?
Yes.
I think he has written to me. I just want him to write to me again now so I can just give him the details.
Okay. But I'd like to have his contact as well.
Okay.
Yes,
Let
Nini,
me.
just
So that
put
will
your
send him
contact there.
the link right now, please. He wants to pay.
Yes.
Okay.
Nini, write to me. Just write to me again so that the number that goes on my phone.
I'm an old man. I may not be able to. Let me struggle to see whether I can be able to write you.
How about Nee drops his number, and then we take it. We can contact him easily. Paddy.
No, but he wants to pay.
That's what
Right?
I want to do.
Let him
Anyone
pay.
he does now, I'm going to use it.
Okay.
I'm waiting.
Let him just send the payment channel. And also, we encourage Pa to join ABC Club.
Hey, I say, Mami Risa, you're doing a wonderful job.
I think Pa is already in ABC Club.
Pa said something
Yes,
which I did not really.
Subscribing.
Yeah.
Club, yeah, subscribing.
Okay, let us just get Pi number. Pi is willing, so we just need to walk him through the process. Pi is muted actually. He says he cannot hear. Pi, you've been asked to unmute. Click on that. Yeah, you're muted now. Unmuted.
Yeah, I think when you talk of ABC, I think we were the first guys who supported the party to rest of what it's doing. I think it's just because I don't want, most of the time when I do contributions, I come with different names and all that. But I think I'm a member of APC Club.
Hooray!
I'm a
Well
member.
done.
Paddy may not know me, but at times they call me Tite, at times they call me Peter, at times, but I'm a member of the club because I watch them every day.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Nee.
Peter, if I understand that name, a T, which stands for stone. T, is that like
yes.
a stone?
It goes nowhere. You can't sit on it.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
If you sit on it, you have a problem.
Exactly, the pepper stone that you you can't sit on it; it sits there, and there used to be the big ones.
So I was the only son of my mother, so no person can touch me.
Thank you. Wow. I like to know the roots of those names and the meaning. So I got them.
Yeah.
I listen in what is saying. It's like a statement. So I.
Yeah, Dr. Whitney, I don't know. I think I will call you personally because what you are doing for Amazona is, I don't really know. I don't know.
Thank you.
But,
Thank you.
God will continue to bless you. Bless
Amen.
Dr. Apiedu.
Yes, there she is.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you, Nee. Thank you so much.
Those names that I hear almost every day, God will continue to all of you.
Thank you, Nee.
Thank you.
Madam Indele is there.
Yes,
Emma
she was,
Indele.
Yes. She was here today.
she
I
was
think
in
she's
and
just,
out.
yeah.
She's driving also.
Yes.
Okay, more hands come up. We need you guys. What? Oh, I see
So,
one clap.
I'm trying to write there, so I think Paddy will be able to send me the. Oh, sorry.
Nee, are you in Mogamo? Are you in Momo? Let me ask. Are you in Momo United?
I'm in
Forum.
Mogamo.
I know you are from Mogamo, but I'm asking a forum that I can track you there and send you a message.
No, I'm not in Momo.
You're just in the Mogamo. Okay, I know who I'll call. Ma'am Dorothy.
We have
Mogamo,
Palmat.
ABC.
Maybe we keep that for the
Then
back.
I think the president's IG interest or something like that.
Okay. Comrade Paddy King, hook up with him and then pass on the info. He's in your ABC club.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
So you have
thank you.
Thank
you.
some two more hands up.
God will continue to bless all of you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Pa Martin's hand was up first.
Yes. Then Ma'an.
Yes.
Oh, okay, okay. Napamat in this. I don't stay up for quite a long time. They follow on a program very well. I've been very excited. And I say, I not fit go sleep, where I not give a word of thank you for all the ladies, the hard work you guys are doing, my patience, the super wonderful work, Dr. Yaya, and the whole team of women doing a fantastic job for Ambazonia. I said, no, I couldn't just go to bed without, it's too late here now, but I said, I have to wait to see till the end. And I said, I should support the cause with $50.
Ooh.
Yeah, I have the payment. I have the payment details. I'll do that maybe now or tomorrow morning. It's actually late here. I just wanted to stay up and to see to the end. So I'm so happy, and I shouldn't go without making a statement. My every doctor, Yaya, I cannot leave her there alone. She's there. I like watching her all the time. And my patient, my able, strong woman, and I said, no, let me put my name down and give some little thing, even though too small, but
not
it
small at all.
Not small.
Thank you so much, Nee Martin. Thank you.
Thank you guys for the fantastic job. God bless all of you.
God bless you too.
Okay. Good.
Ma'an.
Ma'an again.
No, this time not been about money, but I want to ask whether we fit get some very solid flyer. May go with this way fundraiser. More get